The biggest and most pressing question after the Rebels Season 2 finale is Ahsoka alive? There is without a doubt evidence to support both her death or survival, but let's go ahead and talk about this in depth and begin with what we know as fact. The very last clear thing we see of Ahsoka, she is engaged in a heated duel with Vader, and she tells him she is going to stay with him and that she won't leave him this time, to which Vader responds, "Then you will die." Besides this statement, the thing most worthy of note is that in the very end of the episode, we do indeed see Ahsoka appear in the opening of the temple. Many have stated that Ahsoka seems to fall to her knees in this scene, but upon multiple viewings, I can confirm she is indeed stepping deeper into the temple and does not appear to be falling or to have suffered any life-threatening injuries. In a recent interview, Dave Filoni, the producer of the show, was questioned about Ahsoka's death, and I believe his answers give us a ton of clues about the future of Ahsoka and her ultimate fate. In the interview, he said this: "I've already been devising certain specifics around the future of that character, where she is, what's happening if she dies, how she survived if she did. All those questions, I think they will eventually need to be answered, but I wouldn't look to that, frankly, anytime soon." So this statement gives us a lot of information. It tells us, for one, that a plan for Ahsoka's future is in place, and the writers have not left her fate ambiguous for no reason. He also addresses that the question needs to be answered eventually, which for me indicates it definitely will be addressed in much greater detail in the future. The second part of his statement does, however, indicate a long road ahead to this answer. He blatantly says basically not to look forward to anything too quickly and that it will take time. My interpretation of this statement is that we may not get an answer until the end of the third season of Rebels, or possibly even longer. It is also a possibility her story could be told through a novel or other EU material not in Rebels. Dave Filoni also said this when concerning Vader's state as a person and addressed his relationship with Ahsoka: "I personally have never felt that anything changes Vader until Luke. The Vader that we encounter in Rebels was always meant to be the one devoid of emotions, except for anger, hate, and suffering, that he was so trapped inside himself because of the terrible things that happened. Anakin never thinks of himself as betraying his friends. He sees it as his friends betraying him and the Republic. He has to live on that side of the fence because the truth is just too damning. So he wants to destroy Ahsoka because she represents his past. She represents knowledge of who he was, and he wants to wipe that out. His son represents a potential future because his son wouldn't know what he was, so he could build a new galaxy together with his son. His apprentice is his past, and he needs to destroy her." I am entitled to agree with everything Filoni says here about the state of the relationship between Vader and Ahsoka, and this is also the biggest statement that we have received that points to her demise at the hands of Vader. For Vader to leave the planet without killing Ahsoka would be extremely uncharacteristic of him. Vader even feels the need to kill Ahsoka and etch out that stain he perceives to still have. Luke's swaying of Vader was a huge moment for the universe, and for Vader to have sympathy for Ahsoka would have lessened that moment in Return of the Jedi, where Vader saves his son. This statement does not, however, completely diminish Ahsoka's chances for survival. There are two popular theories flowing around the internet that attempt to explain away the ending of the episode and the appearance of Ahsoka entering the temple. One theory suggests Vader was successful and defeated Ahsoka, and the thing we are seeing at the end of the episode is Ahsoka's Force Ghost, or Force Energy, departing to a better place. It's played more as symbolism than to be taken as her actually being alive. This is why we can see what appears to be some mist surrounding her as she enters the temple. This is a characteristic shown oftentimes with Force Ghosts. The other popular theory is that Ahsoka was able to stave off Vader and injure him enough to the point where he felt it necessary to depart Malachor, leaving both master and apprentice to lick their wounds and prepare for another encounter. This would strand Ahsoka in an interesting place filled with the dark side to possibly learn better how to use the Force and study for her eventual final duel with Vader and the Ghost crew to return and find her in a later episode of Rebels. With all this information that we've gathered, both from the episode itself and what was said afterward, the ambiguity of the finale was absolutely done on purpose. We at this point are not supposed to know what happened to Ahsoka or what the final shot really meant. There is no concrete answer at this point in time whether she lived or died, and this was absolutely done intentionally. For the time being, we are left to speculate and find out one day in the future. It may also be a satisfying end to see Ahsoka as a Force Ghost in a later installment, reaching out to her friends to guide them and give them hope for the future. If they chose to go this route, it could give us a heartfelt, appropriate goodbye to the character and allow us to see her again, leaving us satisfied and giving closure to the finale of this episode and the ultimate fate of Ahsoka Tano. A novel was announced yesterday with Ahsoka as the main character, but there is next to no information on it except for the time period in which it is set. The novel is set to take place in between Ahsoka's departure from the Jedi Order leading up to her re-emergence in Rebels. Though this gives us no confirmation whether or not Ahsoka survived, it does give us a chance to revisit a fan-favorite character and learn more about the events that preceded Rebels when concerning Ahsoka. So I'm really interested to hear your guys' thoughts. What's your interpretation of the episode? Do you think Ahsoka is alive, or do you think that she met her ultimate fate at the hands of Vader? Please tell me in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Twitter for updates on the channel. We also have a Patreon if you'd like to help contribute to the channel and gain access to some special features. Click the annotations on screen to watch my previous video or a mystery video. Links for all are in the description down below. May the Force be with you and have a great day.